La France, France. So I would say the order of Western European colonial powers that made it to the colonial party, so to speak, would be first Spain/Portugal, then England, and then France followed. So the trajectory of the French colonial movement followed a very similar pattern to that of the British one. You can see that the French colonial movement began by occupying the northeast part of the Americas, in addition to a handful of Caribbean islands, just like the British did. The French then moved to occupy all of the land behind the east coast that was claimed by the British. Shortly thereafter, the French lost a lot of that claimed territory due to a series of unfortunate events, and eventually the French were completely booted out of the North American region. But France did not sit on their behinds for too long. They got working quickly on their African colonial ambitions. I'm sorry if this sounds calloused. This is simply what happened. France then continued to develop their African presence. They built a lot of industry and infrastructure in that region of Africa that they still benefit off of to this day. And after about 50 to 100 years of exploiting Africa, decolonization took place, and we now have the current form of the French Empire, which is pretty much the French homeland in Europe, in addition to a handful of islands. That's Corsica right there, and some foreign territories like French Guyana and whatnot. So here is a brief overview of what caused this episode in French colonial history, where they quickly lost all of this territory that was claimed in America. Pretty much what happened was they had a huge stock market crash, which is referred to in history as the Mississippi Bubble. So pretty much what happened was there were all of these French stocks that were wildly overpriced. There was a wave of people that sold them, which caused all of the stocks to crash in value. All of the last wave, which is a lot of retail investors in modern day lingo, lost a whole bunch of money. The French government came in and bought up all of these stocks to prop the price up. And then another wave of people sold. So pretty much the French government just had all of this worthless stock of these companies that weren't really producing anything. And the French government didn't have any money to finance any of their operations in America. So they had to sell or lose a lot of that claimed territory as far as what they were aiming to gain in North America. So that's the gist of what happened.